Something weird happened with Donald Trump this week, and I have to laugh at my own statement there because pretty much every day something weird happens with Donald Trump. But this week, of course, it was a meltdown that he suffered after watching Fox and Friends on Fox News, where they were talking about Israel and Gaza and Palestine and all of that. And here's what happened. Steve Doocy had this to say. I remember growing up, I remember Ronald Reagan was talking about the evil empire. I remember George Bush talked about the axis of evil. Of course, he was referring to Iran, Iraq, and North Korea. Well, now there's a new axis of evil. That's it. Okay, that's what Steve Doocy said. Like this new axis of evil, I'm assuming that he's talking about, because he didn't say the name, Iran, Hamas, and whoever else he wants to put in their new axis of evil. By the way, let's be totally clear before we get into anything here that when Ronald Reagan did that in the evil empire and George W. Bush did his axis of evil, anybody want to remind Steve Doocy about how good that did not end up for really anyone on the planet? Like, those were horrible foreign policy decisions, and Doocy's like, well, we had this good thing, and this good thing, and now a new good thing. No, those were not good things at all, and they didn't end well for anyone, including the United States, by the way. But anyway, Doocy's little mild comment there, where he mentioned Reagan and he mentioned Bush, drew Donald Trump's anger, and Trump got on Truth Social and bizarrely said this. Fox and Friends this morning stated that under Ronald Reagan and George Bush, which one? There was a tough policy against terrorists. They're wrong on Bush. But they left out one person, Trump, who took out ISIS, al-Baghdadi, Soleimani, and everyone else who was in the way of justice and peace. Next time, maybe they could ask their bosses, like Rhino Paul Rhino, for permission to use my name. The good news is, based on the polls, the people understand. Ask permission to use my name. Donald, they didn't name you in that, not because they didn't have permission from Paul Ryan, who sure sits on Fox News' board of directors, but Fox News mentions your name every day. And if you had actually done anything worthwhile with regard to foreign policy, I'm sure they probably would have mentioned it. But you didn't. Sorry. I know that's a tough pill to swallow, bud. You want to think that you did all kinds of great things. No, I took out this guy. I took out ISIS. ISIS still exists, by the way. Sorry, you didn't do the things that you're claiming that you did. And I also have to point out that you called him Rhino Paul Rhino. You can't begin and end an insult with the same word. Like, if you wanted to call Paul Ryan Paul Rhino, like, I get that. That is the logical leap for that specific insult, right? Rhino kind of sounds like Ryan. I mean, you can see how you get to that. Or you can call him Rhino Paul Ryan. That rhymes kinda, so I see that. But Rhino Paul Rhino as an insult, I gotta tell you, just constructive criticism here, bud. Definitely not your best. In fact, not only not your best, not good, right? Let's just be blunt. Not a good insult. Workshop it, get back to us on it. Because Paul Ryan is a piece of crap. But he's not the reason Fox News didn't mention you in this segment. The reason that Fox News didn't mention you is because in terms of foreign policy, Donald, you simply were not good and you didn't do anything notable. And that's what hurts him the most. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.